Video of a shelter in the downtown Lower East Side of Vancouver goes viral. A reporter walks in showing rampant illicit substance use. This all on the government's dime. Are we helping these people, or are we just enabling them? Before we get into today's story, of course, tonight we're going to be doing a live stream, and I have special guest Northern Perspective. They've been doing a fantastic job reporting on the Arrive scam committee meetings. This is amazing news that's been coming out of just like how corrupt we've become in this country and how much of our tax dollars have just been going out to contractors that do absolutely nothing. So tune in this evening at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. We'll be talking about this with them, going over a lot of this stuff. Anyway, let's get into this video. It's been going viral. This is, and I want to showcase actually the guy who's been doing this. So this is Kevin Dahlgren. I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. He has got an account on Twitter, and he's been showcasing a lot of the problems, not just in Vancouver, but in the United States as well. I believe he's from the west coast of the United States, and he's been going around and just documenting what's happening with a lot of these people that are addicted to these illicit substances. That we all see what's happening with this pandemic of sorts that across the Western society, as these illicit substances have been taking control of people's lives and largely devastating for families and people and society at large. And we'll get into more of that, but I want to show this video that's been going viral. This is in a shelter downtown Lower East Side. It says video 2 inside the safe injection site, the most chaotic environment I've ever been in. People passed out in bowls of cereal, women screaming behind doors guarded by others, overdoses, crying, etc. Staff were, I think it continues on afterwards, talking about the conditions that were going on there. Now you can just see what's happening in there.
Them?
Yeah, it's not good.
That was a good band, brother.
Just unbelievable. This is the squalor that people are living in, and this is all, you know, paid for by the taxpayer, largely in Vancouver. But this is, we're seeing things like this pop up all the time. Now it calls into question, are we really helping these people, or is this just an enabling them? Of course, you can see people are holding paraphernalia at the time. Again, this is really crazy. Now, of course, always how this happens on Twitter, people get into the notes and give their schmarmy little, no, yeah, but really. So it says on the top that it's a safe injection site on the tweet. Apparently this is not actually a safe injection site. This is a shelter. Here are examples of this, of injection sites. And of course, they give the examples of the injection sites, but it's just like a postcard, essentially. It's a government website that gives no examples of what it looks like in these sites. Is it clean? The cleanliness of it, what the users look like, anything. No information on this. They just show you site maps so you can see where it's located if you want to find that. Now, I didn't find that helpful at all. But another note says shelter guests who use IV drugs are welcome to do so in a seated common area where community members are around to call for help and staff on hand to step in with basically like a something that would knock them out of it, get them out of it if they ever got poisoned in these cases. Now the note gives a website which shows basically, oh, this is you know, it's the press conference, essentially the presser of the opening up this new place. And of course, it looks so fantastic on the website. Doesn't that look great? It looks really nice and clean and all of that stuff. But in actuality, this was the scene when this journalist walked in and had a look around the place. And of course, it's not loading for me at this moment, but you saw it in the video earlier. Now, I just want to showcase some of the stuff that this reporter has also been documenting, actually talking to people and seeing what's going on in their lives, because you know, these are the downtrodden. These are people that just become statistics, and you know, it's kind of a transient class of individuals. They end up in this situation. They end up as a statistic. They either come out of it, or they end up in squalor, or worse, they end up, you know, this ends up becoming the end of them. But he's been documenting what people have been saying about this, and here's one individual.
How has fentanyl helped or hurt you personally in your life?
It's like it's the devil. I wouldn't want this addiction to be on anybody. I wouldn't. Anyone that promotes it, as in giving somebody a new addiction, like, here, you should try this, or I would not trust their intentions, because I know that it's making it easier for me to do bad, but harder to do good. It's just like eat up my emotions. Feels like it's
How
really devastating, the things that people go through in these cases. And so, some people just coming up with this is the thing, like, these people aren't being helped, so they end up coming up with their own remedies for problems that they end up running into while they're you know, in this downward spiral in their lives.
You know, luckily for me, I'm half Italian. My family taught me since I was 5 years old, don't ever do heroin, it's the devil's drug. And if you ever do see somebody doing it, give them, if they're ODing, put ice in their ass and it'll pull them out of it. And it has every time for me. And that's what I do, you know. If I see somebody ODing, that's what I do. Yeah, it's the only way.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. If they're not dead, it will save them. Guaranteed.
So ice.
Yep. Right in your anal cavity. Yep.
Okay.
As long as they're not dead, it will pull them out of it. And I pulled a lady out of it about 6 years ago, and the lady told me afterwards, a couple hours later, she said, you know, when you did that, I could feel myself leaving my body. And as soon as you started doing it, I could feel myself coming back into my body.
Wow.
So I don't know the medical procedures or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just unbelievable. But this is the type of environment that these people are in. They're, you know, not getting real medical help. They're being enabled to continue on with this downward spiral in their lives. There are probably, and I would say, are better advocates to get people off of this stuff instead of enabling them and allowing them to do this in safe injection sites, things like that. Now, there's another channel that I'd love to showcase in this one. And this is another channel, Tales from the Streets. I believe this guy's from Arizona, and he's been documenting a lot of cases of individuals that have been hooked on some of these illicit substances. And you can really see the downward spiral in these individuals. And this isn't to mock the individuals. This is to showcase just what happens in these people's lives and just how bad it is. Here's an example from his show. He shows this young couple, and they're both obviously addicted to these substances, living on the street. And, you know, he interviews them here.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been homeless for?
We've been homeless for six months.
6 months.
Yeah.
So after 6 months, they look like this, and after about a year, he finds them again and interviews them again. And this is the state after about a year.
Yeah, man.
All right, Miguel and Carla, how you guys been?
We've been
good.
Yeah, you can say we've been good. I mean, I don't want to say we're 100, you know, but we've been good. We've been better than, you know, like I always say, and like I always keep on repeating.
It's just tragic. It's just tragic what happens to these people when they get hooked on these substances. And this is something we should be helping people with. Again, this is not to mock anybody. This is to showcase just what's going on in people's lives. This is somebody's kids, right? This is somebody's daughter and somebody's son. And they end up on these things. Another case is this young lady, 21-year-old, and she's been living on the streets. And the gentleman who runs this channel asks, like, what would you tell other people?
This is not a game, fool. It is not a game. You think that you're gonna fucking know how to handle shit? You think that you're gonna that like you know what the fuck you're doing? No, stay home. Stay home, man. Take it from me, man. This is hell. Rather be safe than sorry. Stay home, man. Shit's not for you.
Absolutely devastating. So this is the state that we're in Canada. Well, that was obviously or Arizona, but in Canada we have been enabling this kind of thing instead of trying to help people get them out of this. And what happens to society writ large because of this? Well, these people, they have to obviously pay for these habits that they have. And what do they do to do that? Well, they go and they steal things, and it breeds more crime. There's been more violent crime because of it. They end up in and out of incarceration. They end up out on bail instead of getting rehab or getting help. Thanks to policies that are happening in Canada, and then they end up right back at these shelters that enable them to continue in this behavior. So this is where we're at. They've virtually made this this type of thing completely legal in Canada, and I wanted to do this video to showcase a bit of what's happening on our streets in Canada. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, tune in tonight. Just in a couple of hours here. I'll be live at 6:30 Pacific time. That's 9:30 Eastern. Tune in. We'll have Northern Perspective will be joining the show. We're going to be talking about a lot of different subjects around Canada and the world and what's happening today. So tune in. We'll see you then. Keep on trucking.